Verse 17 doesn't stop there. The God who quickeneth the dead and calleth those things which be not as though they were. And I want you to get a hold of this with both hands. God calls what isn't as if it was. The New American Standard says, He calls into existence that which does not exist. The Greek seems to say that He summons that which isn't there yet. He's calling something that isn't there to call, but He knows it will be there one day, so He is calling it now. God called Abraham out into the unknown to be a father of many nations, and Abraham didn't have a son. But He was calling him out because He knew what He would do in him down the road. God summoned him to the call not because of what he was, but because of what he would be one day. If you read the story in Genesis, you notice that a good portion of it refers to Abraham as Abram. And then God changes his name from Abram to Abraham. Why? Because Abram means a revered father. But Abraham means a father of many nations. And can you imagine Abraham having to tell his friends, hey guys, my name is different now. I no longer want to be called Abram, I want to be called Abraham, the father of many nations. And you can almost feel the cringe of his friends. Really? The guy who doesn't have any kids is the father of many nations? He wants us to call him that in public? I imagine there were some eye rolls when they heard what Abraham was to be called now. But see, this is the God that we believe in. We believe in a God who calls us what we are not yet. He calls us the things that do not exist yet. You see what He does? He calls me righteous, and I'm not. He calls me son because He's making me one. He calls me worthy because He's making me worthy. This is the God that we believe in, who calls us by what we will be and what He will make us. He summons us even though we don't exist in that form yet, even though we don't exist in that manner yet. He summons us. He calls us. He calls us to heaven. He calls us home. He calls us righteous. He calls us worthy.